What is a special administrator and when do I need one? We get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in all of California. I'm Brendan Mohr, Realtor and Certified Probate and Trust Specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Hayman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary, as well as a registered and bonded California legal document assistant specializing in probate. I am also a licensed California real estate broker.
Now, please like and subscribe right now. Let us expedite your probate and save you time, money, and stress. Our team serves every county in California with our cost savings probate and real estate services. If you're selling property in California, you may qualify even if you've already started probate. Contact us. Our details are in the About section. We would love to hear from you. So Bill, a special administrator, what is that in probate and when do I need one?
Those are great questions. Essentially, a special administrator is a type of appointment, probate appointment from the court, that occurs almost always when there's some emergency type situation that's come up and you just can't wait for that hearing that's out there 30 to 90 days out. You need something done right away. And there's a number of different reasons why you might want to do that. I'll give you a few examples. Again, this is just strictly for an emergency situation, but sometimes a person passes away and they own a business, and that business has got to continue to run. And if there's nobody to run the business, you got a problem. So you can go to the court, ask to be appointed as a special administrator in order to continue to run the decedent's business. And usually the court will say, okay, and you can get that done. And the nice thing about a special administrator is you can get that done within 24 to 72 hours with the court, because you file what's called ex parte, which is essentially without a formal hearing. And there's a way to do that, and it can be very helpful in certain situations.
Because you can't even begin to sell the house before you get the letters issued to you.
Exactly.
And so you need to get those fast. Otherwise, the bank's just going to take the house in an instance of foreclosure, which we haven't quite got into yet.
Yeah.
But how long does it take to get the letters of administration?
Well, normally for your regular letters of administration, again, depending on how busy the court is, it could be 30 to 90 days. And if you got an emergency situation, it's pretty tough to wait 30 to 90 days.
Yeah. So instead of 30 to 90 days and you're like, oh my gosh, there's something serious happening here that we need to jump in. You have maybe 3.
Yeah, exactly. And that, again, that's where you file what's called ex parte for the special administrator. And you can really get things done quickly if it is an emergency.
Now let me touch on what I just mentioned, pending foreclosure, because this is where I've seen special administrator before.
Yeah.
You and I have worked on some cases and sales where they waited quite a while. Mom passed away, let the house sit for a while, maybe they're living in it, whatever they're doing, just didn't do anything with it right away, didn't file the probate, and weren't keeping up on the mortgage.
Yeah.
And now they get a notice of default. And now they're calling us saying, oh my gosh, maybe even it's been several months, so they sent out multiple notices. There's an auction date set. I know that you've seen this situation more than me, having probated thousands of estates.
Yeah.
Go into that for me.
Absolutely. In fact, I just had one of these a couple of weeks ago that we successfully navigated, thank goodness. Essentially, I was given a situation where a notice of trustee sale, foreclosure sale, was 10 days away. And this is the first time that the party contacted me. So essentially what we did was, this was a woman who had been living in her late mother's house for about 1.5 years and hadn't paid the mortgage. And she waited till the very last minute. So I filed with the court ex parte petition for special administrator, requesting that the court give her the authority to A, list the property with a licensed real estate broker, and then B, give her the authority to accept an offer, to close escrow, close the sale, and then to place the funds into an estate account. And the court granted those. We got them within 24 hours. And then we went ahead and put the home on the market for sale. The home was not in the greatest condition and we had to sell it quickly. So we managed to get an investor who paid all cash. And we got the deal done. And we ended up saving this woman from losing about $80,000 in equity that was there. But we were able to do it. And what I just went over was kind of what happened in a nutshell, but there was a lot of work in there that I did in order to make that happen. A lot more details.
It's super important in those situations where you're working with a legal professional who has great communication, and then a realtor who understands probate and really knows what's going on.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things is now you're able to speak with the lender.
Yep.
Now, in most cases, lenders don't like to foreclose. It is very costly to foreclose. They're going to lose a lot of money in the foreclosure process. One, just foreclosures just naturally sell for less. There's a lot of fees involved on the bank side, but they will foreclose. There's a trustee involved in the deed of trust for the mortgage, and they have to do what the trustee wants. But the reason why you need to really have a good professional team is the communication, letting that lender know we're getting on the market. We have our letters for special administrator.
Right.
We can get this going. But the big key is you have to follow through. You can't just see it as a delay, like, oh, well, now we have a little bit of a buffer here. I'm gonna, whatever it is, I'm gonna delay longer. Because people at banks are, when they're dealing with foreclosure, they're used to getting lied to all the time. So they have a very low.
They're very skeptical.
Yes, they're very skeptical.
Very skeptical.
Their tolerance for delays is going to be really low. So you got to get going. Now, how would somebody do this? How would somebody become a special administrator?
Well, first of all, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on your question and relate it to the fact that, again, you need a realtor that knows probate, because a realtor that knows probate knows that this can be done. I would say that 99% of all the realtors out there have no idea that this is even possible. And if someone was to come to a realtor that was not experienced in probate and told them, hey, I'm 10 days away from a trustee foreclosure sale, help me, they'd say, sorry, nothing we can do, I can't help you. So again, super important that you're working with a realtor that knows probate. But essentially the process here is you have to file the ex parte petition with the court, get your special orders, hopefully within 24 to 72 hours. You have to get special paperwork signed off by the heir or heirs to the estate, get that paperwork to the lender and the trustee, get it into their system so that you can communicate with them. Because like you were saying before, lenders and trustees, they're not going to talk to you about this situation unless you've got the authority to do so. And there's certain paperwork that has to be produced and put into the system before they'll even communicate with you. So all these things got to be done, and they got to be done. And it's very important that you're working with people that know what they're doing. Now, I will say this, there are some attorneys that will work with these situations, but a lot of them don't like to because, and again, I'm not berating attorneys for any, but there is a possibility that whoever is involved doing this will not get paid. There's a good possibility. So you have to understand that you need to work with someone who is willing to take that risk, which I do all the time. I will work with my clients, and I know that there's a risk I might not get paid.
And that's essentially if the house does go into foreclosure, it's taken by the bank.
Correct. Yeah. Another probate professional that you're working with in a situation like this as a client, you could put in a ton of work and hours on this and end up not getting paid. It happens occasionally, but fortunately not too often.
Mm-hmm.
So in conclusion, basically, a special administrator is just an emergency appointment so that you can take care of emergency situations that arise in a probate, which oftentimes arise with the real estate. And you can get it done now rather than having to wait 30 to 90 days.
No, that's all great, Bill. Thank you so much for the information. Now, please remember to like and subscribe. I'd like you to watch this next video. Touches on how much probate costs and maybe who to hire. It's How much does probate cost in Sacramento now? It says Sacramento in it, but it really covers all of California because we cover all of California. And that's going to be linked next.